Story 1. The Shadow in the Storm. I was in third grade, maybe 8 years old when this happened. It's fuzzy, but this memory is burned into my mind. It was a rainy day, pouring all afternoon. My parents had to attend a charity gala in the city about an hour away and planned to be back that night. But the storm got worse. Roads were flooding, trees were down, so they called to say they'd stay at a friend's place nearby. I remember them on the house phone, Mom sounding guilty, giving me a list. Lock the doors, check the windows, keep a light on, close the blinds. I didn't get why they were so worried. I was thrilled to have the house to myself. No bedtime, all the snacks I wanted. I parked myself on the living room couch, watching cartoons. The TV's glow, the only light in the room. I must have crashed from all the candy, because I woke up hours later, the TV off, the room dark and freezing. It wasn't just chilly, it felt wrong, like the cold was coming from inside the house. I remembered Mom's list and dragged myself up to check everything. Doors locked, windows shut, blinds down. But the house still felt like an icebox. I checked the windows again, pressing my hands against the glass, sealed tight. Maybe the heater broke, I thought, too tired to care. I headed upstairs to my room, ready to sleep it off. My bedroom had a big window facing the backyard, and the storm was raging, rain hammering the glass, lightning flashing, thunder shaking the walls. I wasn't scared of storms, but I worried a tree might crash through. Lying in bed, I couldn't sleep. Not just because of the storm, but because of a weird sound, creaking, like wood bending. Our house had carpet, so it wasn't the floor. I told myself it was a tree outside, but it didn't sound right. It kept going, irregular, unsettling. Annoyed, I sat up, scanning the dark room. Lightning lit everything up, and I froze. My closet door was cracked open. I knew I'd closed it before bed. I didn't scream. I just slipped out of bed, heart pounding, and tiptoed downstairs. I hid under the kitchen table, crying quietly, terrified someone was in the house. My parents were too far to help. Then I heard it. Footsteps on the stairs, not normal steps, but erratic, like someone stumbling or jumping. They got closer, entering the kitchen. From under the table, I saw bare feet, pale, muddy, scratched up, almost bruised purple. They shuffled unevenly, like the person could barely walk. Then a hammer dropped to the floor with a thud. I bit my lip to stay silent, sure they'd see me if they bent down. They stood there swaying for what felt like forever, then staggered away. I heard the back door creak open and slam shut. I stayed under the table until dawn, too scared to move. Eventually, I grabbed the hammer, locked the door, and crawled into bed, shaking. I didn't tell my parents when they got home, scared they'd be mad I hadn't locked up properly. Years later, I told them, and they were horrified, admitting they should have never left me alone. That night shaped me. I still check locks obsessively and sleep with a light on. I can't shake the image of those feet or the sound of that hammer hitting the floor. Story 2. The face in the dream starting when I was about 7, I had this recurring nightmare every few months for years. It wasn't a normal dream. I'd be floating above my bed looking down at myself like I was on a security camera. I knew I was dreaming, but I couldn't move. Just swivel my head. My room looked off. My clock ran backward. Crayon drawings I didn't make were taped to the walls. Stick figures holding hands in front of a house with a red roof. One smaller figure I assumed was me. My old toy car, lost years before, was always on the floor, in a different spot each time. Then I'd feel this urge to look at the window. Every time a woman appeared outside, her face pale, her hair dark and matted, with a scar across her cheek. She'd stare at my sleeping self, then scratch at the glass like she wanted in. I'd wake up heart racing and check the window, nothing. After the fifth dream, I told my parents. Mom said it was just a phase, and Dad checked outside with me. No footprints, no marks. The dream stopped for a year, and I thought they were gone. Then, at 9, it came back, worse. Everything was the same. Clock, drawings, car. But the window was open. I woke up paralyzed, feeling cold air, convinced she was climbing in. After minutes of terror, I checked. The window was locked. I wasn't scared the next time it happened. I'd trained myself to expect it. But when I told my parents again, describing the woman's scar, they went quiet. Dad asked if I was sure about the scar. They later admitted a family friend, Aunt Clara, used to babysit me when I was a toddler. She had a scar from a fall, and they'd cut contact after a fight. Dad thought the dreams might be memories surfacing, but I don't remember her. The dreams slowed after that, maybe once more. But one night I woke and saw a shadow move outside my window. I screamed for my parents. Dad ran outside, Mom stayed with me. He found faint footprints in the mud, but insisted it wasn't Clara. She'd moved away. They didn't call the police, which I still don't understand. The dreams stopped, but I still wonder if someone was really out there, and why my brain tied it to Clara's face. Story 3. The girl at the school. I was 13, last day of 7th grade, buzzing with end-of-year energy. Our school, with over 800 kids, had a yearbook signing tradition where teachers passed them around classrooms. It was chaotic. Kids wrote whatever they wanted. When I got mine back, I found a note under a photo of a girl I didn't know. Lila Thompson. It read, "See you soon. Have a great summer." I didn't recognize her, but with so many students, I shrugged it off as a mistake. That night, my friends Mia, Ethan, and Sam came over for a sleepover in my garage, converted into a hangout spot with a TV and air hockey table. My parents were upstairs, so we were loud, playing games and eating junk food. Around 1 a.m., we heard a knock on the garage side door. Sharp, rhythmic. We froze. Who'd knock at that hour? Ethan, always bold, yelled, "Who's there?" I cringed. He'd just confirmed we were there. A girl's voice, chipper, said, "Open the door! It's cold out here!" It sounded like a classmate, but off. Mia wanted to check it out, but I hesitated. We crept to the main house, peering through the kitchen window. Under the porch light was a girl, Lila, from the yearbook. My stomach dropped. I told my friends, and they got serious. She waved, pointing to the side window. Against my better judgment, I cracked it open and asked what she wanted. She smiled, saying, "You got my note. I thought we could hang out." I asked how she knew my address. She didn't answer, just kept smiling. Ethan snapped, calling her a creep. Her face changed, anger, almost feral. She screamed we'd regret ignoring her, banging on the window. We slammed it shut as my parents ran down. Dad chased after her, but she was gone. The next day, my parents called the school. Lila had been expelled mid-year for bullying, but her photo was in the yearbook because it was printed early. She shouldn't have been there to sign mine. No one could find her or her family after that. I still don't know how she got my address or why she targeted me. We moved a year later, but I still check my yearbooks, half expecting her name again. Story 4. The Night on the Coast. I'm Emily, 24, and this happened 2 years ago, right after college. I was living with my parents, saving money, enjoying a stress-free life with a new job. I'm not into partying. My routine was work, yoga, reading, and quiet weekends. But when my friend Chloe invited me, Ava, and Rachel to her family's coastal mansion for a weekend, I couldn't say no. It was stunning. Modern, all glass and white walls, right on a private beach. We planned to relax, so the first night we grabbed seltzers and sat on the beach, listening to music. Around midnight, we saw a light flickering down the shore, a lantern swinging like someone was walking. 3 guys approached, our age, casual and friendly. They sat with us, cracking jokes, drinking beers. Ava, who loves attention, hit it off with them. They invited us to their place nearby, but I was tired and opted to head back. My friends went with them, promising to be back soon. At 2:30 a.m., Chloe called, frantic, saying Ava and Rachel were in trouble. She'd gone back for her phone and saw the guys shoving them into a car. I grabbed her keys, jumped in her car, and sped down the coastal road as she guided me. I spotted the car, called the police, and followed at a distance. Cops intercepted them, pulling the guys out at gunpoint. Ava and Rachel were in the trunk, tied up, shaken but alive. Chloe later explained the guys got aggressive when she refused to stay. She saw them take Ava and Rachel and called me. The house wasn't theirs. It belonged to a vacationing couple. The guys were charged, but the trial was kept quiet. I couldn't go near beaches for years, and I'm still wary of strangers. If I hadn't answered Chloe's call, I don't know what would have happened. Story 5. The Club Incident. I'm Mike, 28, and last summer my friend Nate, a promoter in the Boston EDM scene, invited me and our buddy Chris to a massive July 4th club event. Nate's company books big DJs and we get VIP access. We drove to the venue early, a swanky club by the harbor. While Nate set up, Chris and I started drinking, free booze, courtesy of the venue. By the time the music started, we were trashed. As the night wound down, we hit the bar and met 2 women, Jess and Lauren, who suggested we keep the party going at their place, a loft nearby. They handed us drinks, insisting we catch up. We followed them along the waterfront, chatting. They seemed sharp, not typical club girls. But soon I felt off, my legs heavy, vision blurry like I was drugged. Chris looked the same. I don't remember much after entering their loft. Modern, sleek, almost too perfect. I woke up in an alley wearing someone else's clothes, no wallet, no phone, shoes soaked but no laces. Chris was nearby in the same state. We found a gas station, borrowed a phone, and called Nate. My phone was pinging in a lot a mile away. Police found our phones but dismissed us as drunk despite our protests. My phone had texts I didn't send. Casual messages to friends, Nate, even my boss, all contradicting each other. None of our cards were used. We went back to the waterfront, found the loft. An older woman answered, saying no one named Jess or Lauren lived there. She owned the place, rented it out occasionally. Nate thinks we were targeted, but we approached them. I still don't know what happened in those missing hours, or why they took our stuff but didn't use it. I avoid clubs now, and every time I drink I check my glass, wondering who was in that loft with us.